As I have absolutely raging PMT, I would like you to tell me the completely irrational things you have done whilst being under the influence of hormones. I tried making an omelette, whacked it up completely, cried hysterically, said, "I can't f***ing eat that." 5 minutes later, I ate it. Whilst eating it, there was an advert on TV about mistreated donkeys, so I was once again crying hysterically. 3 years later, I'm still sponsoring a donkey called Fred. Cried in the bank after cash machine ate my card. 7 months pregnant at the time. They were lovely, sorted me out, pointed out my account was fine, and sorted the card. Got home to find said card in my purse. Machine had eaten my Tesco club card. Went to Delhi to get husband's fave cheesecake. Impatient husband pissed and watching because I took so long, so I opened the car window and threw out his cheesecake. Had complete mental breakdown because I bought the wrong size prawns. Threw prawns around the kitchen in rage, slipped on one of them and fell over. Lay on floor surrounded with prawns and crying. Cut the toe end off all my ex's socks because he pissed me off. I'd spent all day cooking for my husband and kids. They all ate and left to get on with their lives. I asked him to do the dishwasher. He hadn't done it the next morning, so I opened the kitchen window as wide as it would go, pulled the outside bin up to the window and threw everything away. It felt so good that I emptied the cupboards and everything too. Not a single spoon, cup or plate was left in the whole house, and I'm still not even sorry. Lazy shit had to go and buy all new. Won't wait for me to ask next time though. I was heavily pregnant and needed cheese. Went to Sainsbury's to be beaten to the last packet of Cathedral City. Fumed that much, I stalked the cheese thief until they weren't looking and took it out of their trolley and waddled off to the tills as fast as my fat feet would carry me. Not long after my son was born, his dad came home from work. I was in the kitchen making up bottles. He complained that I didn't have dinner on and the washing wasn't done, and asked why I was being lazy. I picked up the sterilizer and threw it at him. I cried and started trying to work out the best solution for dividing up the house after my partner was horrible to me in my dream. I grounded my 14-year-old son for sneezing too loud. Had a breakdown and got sent home from work early because my Kit Kat got stuck in the vending machine. It's not extreme, but the dog looked at me funny, and I cried because I thought she hated me. I sobbed in work because I couldn't find a fork for my dinner. Had a full row with my boss because we had no forks. Sat down sulking and realized I had soup and needed a spoon. I threw a pizza out the front door like a frisbee because it was burnt. It wasn't. Then felt like a tit, so went to pick it up. Saw my neighbor shaking her head out the window at me, so threw the fucker again into her garden. I'm better than I expected. I'd had a row with husband. He went and got himself fish and chips for tea and nothing for me. As he walked past me carrying it on a plate, with one underpunch, that motherfucking fish and chips went everywhere. If I wasn't having any, nor was he. Just after having my second son, my mother-in-law turned up, to criticize, not to help. She made a comment I thought was out of order, so I told her to get out. As she was disappearing down the stairs, I passed my freestanding saucepan rack with the smallest pan at the top and the frying pan at the bottom. I threw the first 3 pans at her before she made it around the bend in the staircase. The 4th one bounced off the wall and followed her into the hallway, and for my grand finale, as I caught up to her by this time, I slapped her across the arse with my frying pan as she disappeared through the front door. It was my finest moment. I once went postal at an HSBC customer service agent person on the phone. Admittedly, they had made a mistake, but I lost it. Told them to shove their mortgage up their arse, then screamed repeatedly before slamming the phone down. I cried solidly for 45 minutes and ended up calling them back, apologizing, begging them not to stop my mortgage, etc. They sent me a massive bouquet of flowers as an apology, and a letter which informed me because they had recorded our conversation, I knew this, they were now using it as a training guide for new customer service agents. Apparently it got played at the head office in London at a meeting. A friend aimed a frozen leg of lamb at the back of her husband's head. Bang on target. Nearly killed him. Cookies come in a 4-pack. 1 for me, 1 for him, and 1 each for the kids. I saved mine for that moment after work when you just need your cup of tea and a cookie. It was Terry's chocolate orange. I came home full of hell, put kettle on, opened cupboard door. No cookie. I went full on psycho, packed bags, went to my parents. Dad asks, "Bloody hell, what's happened?" He ate my biscuit. It was the day of Princess Diana's funeral. It was his turn to go shopping. He refused, so I unplugged the TV and I took it to the shops. Then came home, unpacked the groceries, got myself and the kids lunch, plugged the TV back in and watched the rest of the funeral. I made too much mac and cheese because I totally misjudged it. Ended up with 3 casserole dishes full of it for just 2 of us. When he commented on how much there was, I picked up 2 of the dishes, dropped them on the floor to smash and said, "Problem solved." My husband once farted so loud and it scared me so much I cried. Because he laughed so much, I cry-raged that I wanted a divorce and told him we needed to put the house on the market. Then I cried because I'd be homeless, because of a fart. Sat on a train crying because I have to go away for work and my dog is sick and I don't want to leave her. She's with my husband and well cared for, but not by me and my f***ing hormones. Spent a whole day building a wardrobe. The rail didn't fit, so I used it to smash the wardrobe to pieces in front of horrified husband. I then calmly put it all back in the box, sellotaped it up and returned it as pieces were missing. Pretty sure he's still scared of me after that. I rang the vet to ask what I would do if my dog ever died, and ended up crying hysterically down the phone. I was in a field at the time with my healthy dog running round next to me. Cried so hard at Armageddon, I got a huge nosebleed and had to go to A&E. Cried because they had resurfaced the road and it was really lovely and smooth. While my wife was pregnant, she had an urge to eat watermelon. She asked me to go to Tesco to get some. It was 9:45 p.m. and I was in my pajamas, and I said no. She cried hysterically until I left, and I went to Tesco to buy a late-night watermelon. Screaming obscenities at a fork that got itself stuck in the dishwasher cutlery tray. My mum made dinner one evening when I was little, and whilst carrying her plate, she spilt her peas on the floor. I found her sobbing uncontrollably in the pantry, in the dark, still holding her dinner plate. The dog ate the peas. I ran off giggling. Not me, obviously, but my wife once chucked an absolute screaming wobbler because I'd hung the washing out wrong. Baby brain made me forget the word fridge, so I called it the cold cupboard. Boyfriend, understandably, laughed at this, so I sobbed for an hour because he is an insensitive bastard. Stamped my Hoover to death because the cord was too short. Husband said, "I'm not buying another one." I shouted, "Well, it was my f***ing Hoover anyway." I'm normally a nice person, but the Hoover was asking for it. Dreamt my husband cheated on me. Went from being angry to crying at 10-minute intervals for about 6 hours. Smashed a glass dining table with a golf club because nobody would listen to me when I was talking. Cooked a chicken roast dinner for husband, then boyfriend, when we lived in a flat. I brought it into the living room on a tray with cutlery, gave it to him. He said, "Oh, we had chicken yesterday." Picked tray up, without a word, and binned the lot. Plate, tray, cutlery, the works. I've also thrown everyone's shoes out the front door because I tripped over them in the hall and banged my toe on the skirting board. Did you like this video? Tell us in the comments, click that subscribe button, and see you in the next one.